Hey everyone. I wanted to come back to the topic of trauma, but take a different perspective, or just take it from that concept of wanting to heal, working on healing, but from the relationships aspect. So, one of the biggest problems in relationships in general is that sometimes we try to heal our own traumatic past through our partners. And actually sometimes we do that through friendships too. So you can keep that in mind too as we're talking. But for example, in terms of partners, just that thought of you're going to be the mother that I never had, or you're going to be the father that I've always needed. So we approach relationships from that perspective because we didn't have that growing up the way that we needed it to be. So we kind of put that expectation that within the relationship, I will finally find that, right? But instead of healing, we end up repeating patterns of the past again, and we repeat the pain. So we relive the wounds that we've experienced in the past. And when those old wounds aren't met the way that we hope that they're met, we just become very disappointed. We start even to resent our partner. And you can put that in the framework of friendships too. That sometimes we get so close to someone in friendship that we hope that we will find healing there. And when that friend doesn't meet our expectations, we become very disappointed, and we can also feel resentful towards that friend. And so because um, we think that it is because the person has failed us. And so we kind of leave it there. We might not even explore any further than that. But unfortunately, what actually sometimes is happening is that we are unknowingly asking that partner or that friend to do what is actually impossible, to heal our trauma on our behalf. We're giving them so much power um, that they don't actually possess. It's not in their hands to do that for us. So we project unrealistic expectations onto them, hoping that they are going to fill those roles that they were never actually meant to play in our lives. And relationships are actually meant to be mutual, obviously, and we know that cognitively. I choose to share my life with you. I choose to be your friend. We've both chosen each other as closer friends, and we're in the inner circle as opposed to, the outside circle with the other people. Um, but unknowingly, we just put that pressure of, please repair my past for me, and the reality of the matter is that the more we try to fix our history through someone else, the more we risk breaking the connection right before our eyes, right? It's a huge risk that we're taking when we have these expectations of the other person. And a really important thing for us to hone in on with friendships and with relationships in general, that healing happens from the inside out, not the other way around. When we tend to the parts of us that are still looking for love in old places, once we start tending and giving that love to those parts, the healing begins. So, one of the biggest problems is trying to heal that trauma through the partner, and because it is impossible, we get to that place of resentment. So if you are in a place in the relationship um, right now, in a relationship that you have right now, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, and I even want to bring up, a relationship with a child, your own child who is trying really hard to do the best that they can because they feel like this is how they will earn your love and your acceptance. And these are messages that this child is receiving. You could actually be breaking a bond between you and your child because of these expectations that lay on them. What my dad or my mom did not give me, I'm trying to give to that child, but unintentionally, in hopes that they are going to also heal my inner child or some of my parts internally. And so keeping in mind that as you're having these conversations with your partner, with your friend, with your child, that ultimately the responsibility is yours to take care of your own pain, to work on your own trauma. And I'm not going to say too much more around this. This is just one of those things that you can sit with and reflect on a little bit. Because if you look at the previous videos around trauma, this is how we do the work on the inside, right? I've given some hints in the other videos around that. But I just want to alert us to the possibility that unintentionally we are doing that in relationships. So sit with this, reflect on it, and ask yourself the question: am I doing this with a current partner unintentionally? Do I feel resentful towards them for certain things that are more about me needing to sit and put the work with my inner parts first? And it's not really about all of the things that are happening on the outside. Um, am I aware of the expectations I have of the relationship? Am I aware of how much I am expecting of the other person? Sometimes I give so much in a relationship. I give love and acceptance and space and acts of service, and I go above and beyond. And then sometimes I'll tell myself, well, I expect at least just as much as I'm giving. But am I expecting that because I need to heal on the inside and I didn't receive the love and the space and the acceptance and all of those things? So I'm giving them to this partner or to this friend in hopes that they will be reciprocated and I become healed on the inside. And so these are really important questions for us to ask ourselves, because if that's what's happening, I am unfortunately wasting time on my healing journey. I'm giving that person way too much power over my own healing, and they actually can't do it. It is my responsibility and it is within my sphere of control to do that. So, healing begins when I start doing that for myself, when I take that power back and ask myself which parts of me need that healing, which part didn't receive the love that it needed to receive. And then the work can start from that space. To spend just some time reflecting on this, and we can continue the conversation over text or over our messaging system.